Hi guys, so today I wanted to go over the Child Independent Care Credit and some of the things that go along with that, the benefits and things of that matter. Specifically, just want to go over what the credit is, who qualifies for the credit, some of the limitations you may encounter, as well as how to report the credit and take it on your tax return. So the purpose of the credit is really to provide at least some relief to taxpayers for some expenses that it takes to take care of their children while they're working. So these expenses are typically referred to as employment-related expenses. These are expenses that are incurred that allow the taxpayer to be gainfully employed. Also, additionally, you can some expenses that are allowed is if you are unemployed but you're actively searching for work and you need to, pay for like a daycare to watch your child or something along those lines. So you may be wondering if there's any age limits associated with the child or your dependent, and the answer is yes. The individual has to be younger than 13 years old, or there is no cap to the age limit if the person is mentally or physically disabled and cannot take care of him or herself. So you may also be wondering what types of expenses qualify for the credit. And at a very general level, it means for any household expenses and any expenses related to the care of the child. And that can mean a whole lot. So I'm just going to go over a few examples of what would qualify and what wouldn't qualify. So some of the things that may qualify for these types of expenses is first, daycare or a nursery. Those would be qualifying expenses, as well as if you have a nanny that takes care of your child or a dependent while you're working. Some expenses that would be disqualified is any payments made for an overnight camp. Additionally, if you pay your spouse to take care of the child, you can probably imagine that's disqualified. Also, if you have another child and you're making payments for them to sit or watch your kids while you're working, if they're under the age of 19, that is disqualified. So now let's talk about some of the limitations that are associated with this credit. So the first level of limitation is your earned income. And your earned income is any wages that you earn from your employer. And also can be some net earnings from your self-employment. So the expenses that you're paying for your qualifying child cannot exceed your earned income. Also, if you are married, the expenses cannot exceed the lesser of either your income or the income of your spouse. So in order to qualify to take this credit, you must, and if you're married, both individuals in the house, both you and your spouse, need to be working. The second limitation is the expense limits are actually capped. So if you have one child, it's capped at $3,000, and if you have two children, it's capped at $6,000, two or more children, I should say. And then finally, the final level of limitation is the expenses are multiplied by an applicable percentage based on your income. So the highest the percentage is 35%. And the lowest is 20%, and again that depends on your income level, and I can show that to you in a chart right here. So this is the chart that is used. The great thing about this credit is that even though the percentage goes down, the higher the income is, it never goes below 20%. So that means that even high income earners can claim this credit, which is fairly rare when it comes to a personal tax credits. You don't see that very often. Oftentimes those credits are completely phased out and they don't get any benefit whatsoever. But with this credit, doesn't matter what your income level is, even if you're high, you at least get 20% of those expenses. And so finally, you can claim the credit on Form 2441, and here is a copy of this form. Part 1 is where you will put the information for the persons or organizations that provided the care. And note, you will need to report their name, their address, and identification number, and those need to be provided in order to claim the credit. Part 2 is where your dependent's information is entered and where the credit is determined. And the amount on line 11 will then be reported on Form 1040, where it will be used as a credit against your tax. So I hope this video was helpful in helping you understand some of the basics of this credit. If you have additional questions, click here to book your free, no obligation consultation. Also, be sure to sign up for our monthly newsletter and subscribe to our YouTube channel for weekly updates. If you have a tax question you would like us to answer, please leave it in the comment section below. Thank you.